Over at the Avdiivka Front, this is Avdiivka city. At the Avdiivka Front, the Russian forces are continuing their Avdiivka offensive with fighting reported at Berdaichi, Stepove, Lashtoshkine, Tonenke, Shevene, Povomaisky, and Nevelsky, with Ukrainian forces counter-attacking at Novobakhmutivka and Povomaisky as well as Lashtoshkine. The general picture, this is a strategic situation. There's not much to talk about over at the flanks. The main thing is coming in the center. As the center is the weak point, I believe I'm not sure which video I did mention that the center is where the weakness is, and that's where the Russians should penetrate through and would penetrate through, and indeed I'm turned out to be correct. The Russian forces continue to exploit the weakness of the lines around here, because this is where the Ukrainians do not have a firm line of defense, and they are now attacking into the north of Tonenke. Over here, the Russian forces are also continuing to try to conquer Shevene to no avail, because there is some kind of a strong defense on the Ukrainian side in the northern part of Shevene. So the claims of the conquest of Shevene still is not corroborated by both my trusted sources, Ryba or Deep State UA. However, there is reports of Russian forces attacking Tonenke, according to the information from the Russian Defense Ministry. I'm not sure if they are referring to an attack from the south or from the north, so we'll continue to monitor. Lashtoshkine has been captured over on the 24th of February. So this is already very well known. I did report this on my quick update. And there is also geolocation of the Russian flag flying in the eastern part of Lashtoshkine. So it is only on the eastern part, but based on the information coming from Deep State UA, the Russians have already progressed way past that. And this progress over on this area here on the western part of the coke plant. This area here is stuck. The Ukrainians are putting a strong defense around here. However, now further south along the main road via Lashtoshkine, the Russians could make a major push towards Avdiivka. So this is disastrous, because the Russians are already on the verge of encircling or hitting the rear, or forcing a Ukrainian withdrawal from Tonenke and Lashtoshkine. And it just looks bad. The Russian forces can also push to the south of Avdiivka, hit up north, also hitting the rear of Avdiivka, and they could also cut off the retreat route at Tonenke, forcing Ukrainians to go west along the dirt roads. So the strategic situation here is just horrible, very horrible for the Ukrainian forces. And it's not a matter of bad strategy. I would say the Ukrainian tactics and strategy in trying to hold the line of defense is not wrong, but the problem is that the Russians are pushing through an area where they have no heavy entrenchment. And the lack of a heavy entrenchment in this area here, because they never expect the Russians to push through the center, capturing Avdiivka city this way. So when the attack coming through the center, they have nothing there. And this is a soft spot. So there is very little the Ukrainians can do. The most important thing the Ukrainians could do right now is quickly start a new line of defense, quickly dig right now. They have to dig 45 right now. The problem is logistic. I'm not sure if the Ukrainians have the heavy equipment, the machineries to do all this entrenchment. Do they have the reinforcement manpower to man all this new entrenchment if they could? Because if they don't do this, the Russians are going to continue to make new penetrations, and they're going to hit all the way to the rear, collapsing the entire front line that is actually well defended. So all these lines around here is all well defended, all strong lines. And this is the weak spot where the Russians can continue to make push. And if they do not form a new line of defense that is strong, then this push is going to turn into a massive rout. Then the next heavy line of defense is over here. This is the next heavy line of defense. This is pre-war built, so these are good ones. However, these are not connected. These are all individual strongholds. So it could be, which means that they could be go around. The Russians can actually go around them. So anyway, we will continue to monitor and see the situation over at Avdiivka and see how this progress.